All right, everyone. Very good morning and good evening if someone is joining from US. So before we start, guys, have you guys set up your account?
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
How about
Yep.
you, Krishna? Good. Surya, you?
Yeah,
I
yes,
want to
yes.
just ask, every time we
Okay.
sign in, do we need to verify with the OTP? It works like that only?
Yes. If you log out, you have to um sign in with your OTP. And
Okay.
while logging, I think they ask for an option that remember my credential for this system. You can check that check box that it will be there because that's how I work. Whenever I log in, I log in like Monday. No,
Mm-hmm.
I logged in Friday and then still it's there. I don't have to log in, so you can try that option. Okay. All right, guys. So hey, Aziz. Good evening.
Hey, hi, Ravi. Good evening.
I was just asking if you guys have set up your app an account and then you guys got your working environment. Aziz, is this
Yes.
your first class? Oh, I think you have joined
Uh,
earlier, right?
no, I have joined the first class, the demo
Mhm.
class. Yesterday, Friday, I was not available, but I have
Okay.
seen the recording.
Cool. Great. All right, guys, then let's start then. Today onwards, we'll start working on application and we'll see how to create an application. We'll talk about basic of the Appian, like variables, how it works, what are the variables we have. Stage by stage, we will be, seeing different variables type that we have, but not all at a time, otherwise we'll get confused. So let me share my screen. Hope you guys can see my screen. All right. So whenever you logged in, right, you must have seen that Appian might give you some, predefined applications that is there. Just to learning purpose, you can go and see walk through that application and whatever is there, you can just have a look. Okay. One more thing, can everyone confirm that you guys are able to see this option, database?
Yep, I'm able to see.
Database name, this thing.
I think that if you're speaking, your voice is very low. I can't hear you.
Yeah, I can see the page where discuss, learn, and success, support, and documentation. All these
No, I
options
mean,
are there.
are you able to see this cloud database? When you click on this navigation icon, then cloud database, and then this your work ID. So basically, this is your work ID, guys. You can see your work ID in your system. Are you able to see this?
I'm actually at this. I'm at the home page only. I mean, get started. Appian community is written over there, and then
I mean,
uh,
if you have configured with the app Indian instance, right? This will be same. Let me put it in the chat. How the Okay, you guys can bookmark this one. All right, so let me know if you guys can see it or not. We'll discuss. So this is on a sandbox environment. Sandbox environment is basically they created for some test object if you want to create and if you want to learn something, do certain some dummy things you can create inside the sandbox environment. All right, so let's start with the creating the application. Anyone has thought of that? What use case we're gonna do that? Because we started for this batch, we started a new account opening process. I had to delete everything because few members were there who are not continuing here. The new members have joined, so we cannot go with the already completed some part. So I just want to start from the beginning. So we we discussed something for new account opening process. Are you guys okay with that, or you guys have some other use case in your mind?
Whichever use case you want, Ravi. Just like we don't know in which use case we can cover most of
Every
time
use case
all of the topic.
will cover, whatever you talk about will cover everything that we now want to touch. It's not going to happen that we will not be touching any part. Like for example, for any use case, right, we cannot get some APIs, right, for to be working, right, because we don't have any APIs published anywhere, right? So for those kind of things, we try to learn with the test of data, right? Like from API, we can try to connect with the freely available APIs and get the data. But for the other things, workflows and UIs and everything, we will be touching most of the things. So no, not most of whatever we have discussed. decided we will be going through that for sure. The main thing is that we should be having a workflow. It should have an approval process. It should have something that we need to retrieve from the Appian internal memory. So that reporting thing, sites, process model, graphs, everything should be there, right? So we use such use case, and any use case you talk about, we'll cover all these subjects. All right, then let's go with the new account opening process, or maybe we can go with the customer onboarding, right? Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. Then how do we create a new application? Very simple. You can see at the top, you can have a new application button. Just click on that and give the name. So let's say I'm going to go with the name. All right. One more thing, right? Appian has suggested, for their running instance, they said that, right, please prefix new apps with your workspace ID so that they can know which application they have used for their application, right? So we are going to use this workspace ID for our application. Okay. All right, so I'm going to create a new application, and the name I'm going to go with let's say AFDC Bank. Because we will be covering both customer onboarding as well as the account opening process, right? So by default, what happens? Whatever the name you will provide your application, Appian will take the first letter of those word and then as a prefix. But as an Appian suggested, we should go with the prefix that we have. So let's go with this prefix. I'm gonna go with my workspace ID underscore my application prefix. Okay. Now what else we have? We have description. So I'll put some description here. This application is for AFDC Bank for customer onboarding and account opening process. Cool. Now, you guys must have seen there's one checkbox, right? Generate groups and folders to secure the organization object. Now, what happens if you don't click this checkbox? Let me duplicate this. So what happens if you don't click this checkbox? And what happens when you check it? So ideally, Appian is trying to help you out in some ways that you need to do less work, and you achieve more, right? So what happens basically, if you don't check this checkbox inside the application, you won't see anything. It will be a blank application. However, if you go and check this checkbox and then create the application, it will build 7 objects for you, which you might, or maybe, like mostly you will be creating this for your application manually. So Appian is trying to help you out by creating this automatically, so you don't have to go and do it by yourself. So these 7 objects Appian is going to create for you if you check this checkbox. If you don't check this checkbox, then this will be not created. Your application will be blank, and you have to manually create all those things, because we will be requiring a knowledge center. We will require some document folders, and definitely we will require some process model folder and then rule folders, right? So Appian thinks that anyways you are going to create these folders. Why not? I'll create it for you. Okay, is that clear? So we are going to check this checkbox and create the application. Any question before I click on create here, guys?
So just one, Ravi, like I'm not seeing the cloud option in my community version. So is there any difference?
No. I'll tell you, Ashish, why you are not saying it, right? When you go to your Appian community, right? And once you click on your, are you with your laptop?
Yes, I am. I am with
Are
my
you
laptop.
logged in your Appian community?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'll just
You.
quickly we'll discuss. Okay. Before
Okay.
going there, right? You guys have
Yeah.
any question till here? Once this application is going to be created, any question?
Just one thing, you said like if I check, then I'll get the 6
7
objects.
objects.
Few of them will be in the folder, and
All
sorry,
these 7 objects.
okay, 7. And if I don't check, then I'll get only one object.
Nothing. Just an application, blank application.
Okay. And by example, if we are going to start any project, so by default, we need to check because we want to create some groups. It will be mandatory. I mean, it's like,
Definitely. I mean, see,
definitely.
until I mean, at the end you will be creating it, right? So
Mhm.
Appian just given you this option that Appian is going to create it for you. Otherwise, you will have to manually create it and manually set your security.
Can we
Okay.
create from the scratch? Better not to select so that we can get idea.
Fine. Yeah, we can do that. Let's uncheck this checkbox and create it. You see that? Now this is blank. I mean, it's just taken my name as a security. So my security group is blank because we do not have any security group created. So it will be created like this. Just click on save. Uh, what happened? I did click on save, right?
Yep. You didn't
Yeah.
click on submit.
Oh, let me see. ABDC rank. What is that? W5073. Oh, this application is for ABDC rank for customer. Recording and count process. And now check this and say create. Oh, okay. I'll tell you why we are not able to see that, because I removed my name from the security, right? So whoever does not have the security will not be able to see that application for sure. So you see this one, right? What happened if I get inside this application and go to the build? It's blank. Nothing is there. Now, if you go to the security of this application, it just have my name. So what we will have to do? We will have to create those groups manually. We'll have to create that folder structure manually so that we can go and create objects within those folders. And it's as simple as it is. You just have to go here and then say create a group. It will take the prefix. Then we can say administrator. And let's say group admin. Create the group. Now save it. Now this group has been created. Now if I want, I click this group, add members, and I'm gonna add myself. So I'm going to add myself here. Click on add. Now this group has one member, and which is me. Now if I go to back my application, I need to go to my application and then go to the application security, and then you can go and add here. I'll say maybe administrator as an admin role. Now, if I'm already part of this group, I can simply go and remove this and say save the changes. So all these things that we are doing manually, it could have done automatically if we had selected that checkbox. Right? Now, second group that we want to have, we can create it. Again, we have to go to the group and then we have to say viewer. Viewer role. If you want to add a member, you can directly add from here also. And then hit the create button. Now go to the save. And inside, again, we have to go to the application security and then say add user and group 5073 AV viewer, and then I assign the viewer role and see the changes. Right? So all these things that we are doing it manually could have done automatically by that checkbox. Got it?
Ravi, one question.
Mm-hmm.
We are using this design page here, right? So how we can navigate here? I mean, directly we need to access this link only, or is there any home page from where we can navigate to?
No, this is a URL you can save, right?
Okay, so directly always we need to access, right?
Yeah, I mean, if
Okay.
you are on the tempo page,
Mhm.
right? Let's see if you are on the tempo page instead of this. Let's say if you go to your tempo page,
Mhm.
right, and we do not have, let's say, this thing, then you can go navigation icon and say Appian Designer. It will land you here,
Okay.
and inside that you can go and your application,
Okay. Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Any question, guys?
So shall we create simultaneously with you, or we should watch first and then?
I think it would be good if just because otherwise your mind will be very diverted. I know you will be
Correct.
looking and you will be
Yeah.
doing it. So better you just have a look and then you can create it at your home.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
So either way, you can go inside your application and then go to the security and set the securities. Otherwise, if you are going to create it manually, I will suggest don't create manually. Let's go with the checkbox. Otherwise, you can select the application here and then click on the security. Here, if you can see that, right? If you want, you can also add it. Okay. Cool. So this is about the application. How do we create the application? Okay. Any questions so far? Yes, no, not applicable.
No, it's good. Good.
Cool. All right. Now I'm going to insert the sandbox application because I'm going to talk about something, like test things, maybe which is not related to our application. So I don't want to put some junk code in my application, right? So I just want to be clean. Okay. Now who can tell me what is a primitive data type?
The data type which just not object can be created, like your byte, int, short, long.
Right.
These are the primitive data type in Java.
That's right. I mean, Booleans, text.
Boolean, yeah. Boolean stack, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So all those are the
Primitive data type.
primitive data types. Right. So why we need a data type? Why we need a variable?
To just define what kind of value you're going to store, what kind of object you're going to store. To
Right.
just the difference between of them. So you can use call them directly.
Okay. Now, one thing to be remember in Appian, we have many types of variables. The first variable that we are going to learn about is called local variables. You might heard in Java as well, local variables and global variables, right? As the name suggests, local variables are the local. Wherever you would define it, there only you can use it. Global variables, you can use it. You can pass it some other rules and everything. So first thing that you guys need to remember that local variables, when you declare it, you do not have to define the type of it. Automatically, Appian will understand by the value is being assigned to it. Okay. Now, how do we declare our local variables? Let's see that. I'm going to create one expression rule. I'll give the name as test rule 1. Okay. The local variable discussion. All right. So I'm going to create this expression rule. This we talk about the expression rule, right? What is the expression rule? It's just a kind of a code window where you can go and do the calculation. You can write any code. You can write a query rule. Such kind of things. You can do calculation. I mean, you can format the data. You can, whatever you want to do with your data, you can do that inside the expression rules. All right, it's kind of blank code window that Appian gives you to perform a certain set of tasks, which you can also use as a function. Maybe you can, if you want, you can have a certain kind of rules, set of rules designed here so that you can use it as a function. Maybe a plus b, it should return the subtraction, it should return the multiplication, something like that. Okay, so first of all, To declare a local variable in Appian, we have a function, and it's very easy to remember because it's the function called local variable. This is a function which is used to declare a variable. If you are not using this, you cannot declare a variable. Okay. So whatever the variables we are going to declare, we will be declaring inside this. And how do we define what is the prefix of a variable? So now let's say I'm going to say local bank name. That's it. One variable is being declared. Same way we can have local bank age. Second variable is declared. Have I mentioned the type of it? Right? In Appian, we use colon operator to initialize the value. I'm going to say Ram. It means the local name is now holding a value called Ram, right? So let's say if I want to return the value of local name, how do I do that? What is the one fundamental concept of a function?
It should give some value.
It should give some value. It should return something, right? In IT language, you can say it should return something. So all these things that we are doing is kind of a declaration. Now, what I want to return? I want to return local bank name. That's it. Once I say a local bank name, it means I want to return the local bank name. This rule is going to return the local bank name. And what's the value of local bank name? If you click on the test rule, it will give it to you and it will tell you that it is a kind of a text. Have I mentioned that this is a text type variable? No, right? It automatically understands that, okay, you have initialized the value with double quotes. It means it's a text you are going to provide. Now, even though if I go and put some number within this, what do you think if I click on test rule?
32.
Output will be 32, but what's the type?
Text only.
Right. Why? Because we have
Double
put it
quotes.
inside the double
Double
quotes.
quotes.
Right. Now, let's say same thing I'm going to put here 32 without the double quotes. Now, instead of name, if I'm going to return the age, what do I get?
Number 32.
I'll get the output at 32, but the type will be number integer. So Appian is understanding by itself that what value you have assigned to it, based on that it is deciding the type of it. Okay. Now let's say I'm going to return that local bank. Okay, now you guys tell me, I want to return a sentence out of it that Ram age is 32. How do I do that?
Maybe local bank name plus
Okay.
concatenation
Local bank name.
plus
One more thing, we do not have plus in Appian. Instead of plus, we have ampersand.
Okay.
So ampersand. Okay.
Then in the code, in code, you have to get you have to write is.
Is okay, and then
Again n% 32. I mean
ampersand,
n%, then local age.
Local age.
local age. Very nice. Good. So if I go and try to return this, I'll get my
Entire text.
it's a text.
Yeah.
Okay. What else we can use if you want to use any function instead of ampersand? Ampersand is the one quicker thing that we use mostly. But if you want to use a function, then we can use a function called concat.
Oh, concat.
And
Okay.
we need to do like this: local bank name, comma, comma. It gives the same output. It's just instead of ampersand, we use concat. So whatever you prefer, you can use it. Okay. Any questions so far?
So where we are defining this rule, I mean inside application or separately we are defining and then later we can use this.
Right, definitely. I mean, you can create a set of kind of code, and then if wherever you want to do, you can call it. So we'll see how to call a rule, right?
Okay.
Not the outside of the application, inside the application, but inside some other code, maybe some interface, some other expression rule, some other process model. Okay.
Okay.
And this rule will only be accessible by 2 persons. one who is member of this group or the member of this group. If you remember, right, the first application that I created, I removed my name from that group as an administrator. What happened is that I was not able to see that application at all, right? You remember we created the first application called AFDC Bank,
Correct.
right? So that application I was not able to see that now. Why? Because no one will be able to see that because we are not system admin user. Hence, that is gone because we are not part of that application anymore. Even though we created it, but we removed my name from there, right? So now we are not able to see that. Okay. Any question in this local variable and then declaration of this and assigning the values?
Normally, okay, I have just one thing. Normally, I understood that we do not need to write the print statement here. We just directly call that variable name and get printed.
Right,
But
right.
I just see that in local variable also you define the two local variable. One is the name, second is there, and the third time when you're calling that one, you're giving comma after 32. So isn't that like I mean, seems like I'm defining the variable third time. I mean second time in this way.
No, your last statement will always be a written statement. You don't have to type it
Okay.
manually the written, but your last statement will be treated as a written.
And do I need to give a space? Like you give the space down line number 4 to just differentiate
No,
something?
nothing. Just format it, no?
Okay.
Nothing is
Okay.
required.
Okay. So always my last statement is going to be the return statement. Okay.
Always your last statement is going to be a written statement.
And by default, this method will return something. It's nothing like that non-return type also. Like in Java, we have a void, so there's nothing going to
There's
return.
yes, there is a catch. That's a good question. Now let's see. Let me comment this out. Am I returning anything in the
No,
code?
no.
What happened if I click on test rule?
It
Nothing
will
will
throw
print.
exception. Throw exception.
Because you have a comma. You have to remove the
Right.
comma on line number 3.
Okay, let's say I remove the comma. Then
No.
No.
Still,
still
still it
no,
will throw
still no.
exception. Still throw
Right.
exception because we
what it
have not.
says expects final parameter to be its result value, not a
Yeah.
definition of local variables. Got it? So if you want to be a final, it has to be returning something.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there anything, any option we can get a help about syntaxes, or I mean, if we don't remember the syntax or how
See,
to
at least
define
few things you will have to remember, right? No, like
Okay.
as I said, right, for the concat function, let's say you don't know what function is required for concatenation, but you know the word concatenation, so you can just start tapping with the concat. It will give you the automatically pop up the
Auto
function.
suggestions are there.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So mostly function, the way the code designed, right? Even Java, the way it's designed, it tried to put the function name as the name of actual word, the meaning word, right? That's fine. Okay. Is it like we can only declare a variable, a local variable only for single? Can we declare a local variable as for a array? Let's see that. I'm going to comment this. I'm going to have one more local here. Let's say local bank ARR1 array1. If you want to declare any variable as an array, you just have to use the colon. Now you guys know, right, what is used for a colon. It is used to initialize. If you want to declare an array in Appian, you just have to use curly braces. And then if you want to put 9, 7, 8, 4, 6, 5, 9. And then if you want to return this array, simply say local array1 and hit the test tool. It's gonna say list of number integer and having 6 items. Okay, so we can also declare a variable as a type of array with the use of curly braces. Okay.
And In case we change, yes, as of now, the line number 9 is array and it's just only the numeric. It's just only your integer. But in case if you make it double, then the return type will be double. Like 9.5. Just make one of them 9.5, and then when we run it, then it will return as a double instead of the integer or float something. Yeah, floating. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So
Right?
it's
Because you have the combination of that.
exactly
Now,
okay. Exactly.
what happen if I change any one of them as an text?
Then it will become text, I believe.
No, it will become as a variant because we have different type of data.
Okay. Combination of both. Okay. Okay.
So it's a kind of a variant. Okay, different thing.
What about the size? I mean, don't we need to define the size of the array?
Nothing. It
Okay.
automatically assign the size, location, everything. You don't have to worry about it. Okay.
Yeah.
What else we can do?
Can we create one more method and we can call other one? Just create one method, define all local variables and call that particular something.
Yeah, we'll come to that method and everything.
It's
Definitely.
okay.
Okay. Now we saw we can assign single value. We can assign multiple value. Can we create a dictionary out of it? Even if you want to create a dictionary, we need to use a curly braces, right? And then we need to provide, let's say I'm going to have name, Raj, age, 50. Let's return local band array 2. Right. So in local variable, we can also declare a type of a dictionary where we can give the key value there. Okay. Now, can anyone tell me if I want to declare a variable dictionary with multiple values, how do I do that?
Dictionary multiple values. They understood.
Multiple dictionaries in same variable.
Then you have to make a list. It's not. Either you can have one. You can have it. After the name. After the name, you have to just again curly braces, give something name, and then you can have it.
But in that case, the name will have multiple names, age will have multiple age. I want the set of information as a multiple.
The multiple name, multiple ages. Name age. It can be no. You can just
List or something like that? Or
No.
map and key
something.
value pair, something?
Append something.
Very simple. Okay, just see. This is a one set, right? This is the one set. This is another set. This is another set. Let's change the name. Okay. Clear?
But let's say there are n number of entries, then
Right. We just have to use one more curly braces and repeat the information with the different data. Okay. Any question? All right. Now, can we do calculation in this one? Now, let's say I'm going to define local bang var x, local bang var y, right? And then I'm going to initialize local bang var x as 20, var y as 50. If I want to get the calculation, what do I need to do?
Sum up the two.
Maybe in the last statement, just say local var x plus local var y, if directly something. Yeah.
If you do like this, you will get your data.
Yeah, 70.
Now, if I want to assign this value to another variable and then return that variable, how do I do that?
Now local variable z colon and then equal to, I mean, yes, then colon,
We
then
have
that's
to
fine.
say local bang where z colon, and then this calculation will become input for this one, comma, local bang
Z.
where z. Okay. So it will also allow you to do the calculations, and anything if you wanted to do, you can do it from here. Okay.
Yep.
So these are the, I mean, some example of the local variables. Any questions, guys? Okay, I'll take that as a no.
I'll just do one thing, because I understood like how we define dictionary. Do you have option like we just, I mean, in the dictionary, I just want to get the age of only Mohan. So do we have like option something? To just get the,
We'll come to that, Krishna.
okay.
Those are some functions is required. We'll come to that later. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Try to keep it only this much that you guys can do the revision. Otherwise, in a day it will be too much for you guys. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, if you guys understood the local variables, let me show you some other use of some functions use. Okay. So I'm gonna say test role. All right. First of all, what function is required to declare a variable? Am I audible?
Yes.
So what function is required to declare a local variable?
A bank local variable.
Variables.
Correct. Do I need to remember? I need to have a bank here? No. Just try to type here, then you can find it and then say tab out. You can see it clicking it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to declare a variable called sample text, and I say is a good boy. Okay. Now what I want here is that I want to search that a word good is available in this sample text or not. Any guesses?
Contains, if contains something like that.
Contains what's for an array.
Okay.
What is the question?
Matches.
Now what's the question? What we are going to do?
We're going to search the string.
We are going to
Search the string.
search the string. So what comes in your mind? The function name. Right? What now if you don't know what the function of the search function, how it works, just click inside the parenthesis and below you can see the description given very clearly. It says search text. What I want to search? I want to search good. From where? Within text. Which text? Local bank sample text. Start number, first position. If it is going to give you any number, it means that it has the word that you are trying to search. Now, what is the meaning of 10? Let's start from here. Are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. From the 10th position, it find your word called good. If I change this good to good, maybe. What do you think?
It will not find it.
So I think zero should be displayed. Exactly.
right?
0 1 combination.
So it try to match the exact word that you have in your string. By using the search function, you can easily find if that text is available or not, right? So you can use this function. Now, why I bring this up, because if you want to know about any function, just click inside the parenthesis, and below in the description window, you can easily find that this whole description about how this function works. What is the input, what it returns, everything will be given in the description window. You don't have to go anywhere else. Is that clear? Easy? Now I feel like easy.
Can we have multiple expression in single function?
Obviously.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Now let's talk about this local variable. Why the name suggests local variable? Okay. All right. Inside this local variable function, I have a variable called local bank sample text. I am going to have, I'm just going to comment this for now. Sorry. I'm going to have one more local variable inside this local variable. Okay. I'll say local bank, maybe new text. I'll say Mohan is very fast. Right. Now, if I try to combine this local sample text and new text inside this, can I do that?
You mean
I
Ram
want
is good and
Ram
this
is a
one.
good boy.
Yeah,
I want to say Ram is a good boy and Mohan is very fast. This is my output.
We can do it. Yeah.
So if I'm going to say local bank sample text ampersand and space ampersand local bank new text.
Yeah, we can do this.
And if I text rule, it is giving me Ram is a good boy and Mohan is very fast. If I take this line out from this and try to do it here.
No, we cannot.
Why?
Because it's outside that curly braces. I mean the definition, outside the definition.
The
of
second local
variables.
method, you're outside for that one. Mohan is very fast, that's outside.
That's
actually.
outside.
That's why.
So local variable will only be accessible within the parenthesis of that local variable function where it has been declared. We cannot use outside of it. Then how can I'm able to local sample text inside this one?
Because you are inside the
The
local.
definition is still there. I mean,
Still there,
Because
inside,
this
that's
local variable itself has been defined within this. So that's the reason I was able to access here, but not here. You see, it's highlighted with the some lining here. If you go to this, it says improperly scoped variable. Right? So it's not able to identify this local new text. Even though it's a child of it, but no, we can't access it because this is declared inside this parenthesis. Now, if I want to access this, how do I do that?
We can access inside local variables and the second.
Now, no, forget about this variable. I want to access this text outside of this one. How do I do that? This text.
Do we have option something to make global?
Then outside of that, we can define.
So first of all, if this is going to work as a function, it has to return something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to return the same variable here, right? There's no harm in this.
Yeah.
Now, I will declare one more local variable here, local bank get text, right? And then colon. So this local variable becomes input for this one, right?
Yeah.
Now I copy this and put it here. So we are now doing multiple expressions in the same one. Clear?
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, understood.
Any question?
You just captured that value in the variable, right?
We capture the output of this one to this variable, and we are using this. These all are very important. You know, when you start doing the actual coding, you will have to think, how do you take the value from one place to other place? Right?
Let's say we have two values returning, right? So how we can capture them in that
You have
case?
two values.
Yeah. Suppose that local variable is returning Mohan is very fast plus something else also.
Mhm.
So how
So
we
let's
can
say,
capture?
let's have local bang.
Maybe another data type also. I mean the number plus text it's returning. Then.
Okay. Now, what will be the output of this one?
One is very fast and his age is 30.
Right. So we are having this variable as integer. I'm not going to make any changes to my this, not my this. So I click on test rule. Right. So you do whatever here, doesn't matter. It this particular variable will have what your inside rule is returning. Okay. Clear?
Yep.
All right. Now let's say I have a variable called sample text 2, and we have something like we sometimes we get a kind of string, right? Now let's say I'm gonna get W5 H67 UI830 MN 12. Sometimes we receive this kind of text, and then requirement is that take out the numbers out of it. I need only the numbers in this text. In Appian, we have a very small function to do that. The function is called clean with. Here we are going to clean it. Now, if you see the function's declaration, it says text and from what you want to clean with. So I'm going to say text is going to be this. And I'm going to clean with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I click on test rule. The number that we have in the sequence given here will be returned 5, 6, 7, 8, 3, 0, 1, 2. If I want just the other way around, the another function that we have called step. Then it will return me the text that we have. If you want to know what are the function in Appian we have, simply open any expression editor. You don't have to go anywhere to search it. Go to this function here, click on that, and it will list you all the functions that we have in Appian, everything. Right now we are working on the text functions. You see all the text functions, you can see it here. So just go and see what are the functions we have. Some will be your familiarized by the name. Some you can have, need to go through this. You just click any of the function. Just click any of the function and then click inside the parentheses. It will give the description right away. Okay.
Yeah.
Any question, guys, for today?
Nope, it's good.
All right. So I'm gonna stop here for today. Just do practice. Go and create, this thing. Satya, sorry, I didn't see your message. Just please, I will ask Sita to share you that the videos. And today was the first class, by the way. The last 2 days we talk about what Appian is, and then what are the objects we have. That's it. But yes, I think you shouldn't be having problem to understand what we discussed today, right? Because it was kind of very first class too. Okay. All right, guys. Now tomorrow onwards, what's gonna happen? All the videos link we'll be going to share on the WhatsApp group. So please do enroll. Talk to Sarita. I think she dropped her number. I think she's in the call. So if you can please again share your number over here for them. And there is a possibility that we will also changing the meeting URL. So we'll share everything there. So please do enroll. If you feel gonna go continue. And yeah, because there you can go and ask questions and everything in the WhatsApp group. All right, guys. Before we wrap up, do you guys have any question?
Maybe after practice we will get.
Yes, please. Practice is very important. If you don't do practice, all the talking, all the discussion is just like gonna have nothing. So please do the practice at home. Let me see. Right, I'm gonna put the number again. Please get into touch, and then complete your process. All right, I see a few members have joined for today. Do you guys have any question?
Harsha,
Hi, my name is Ravi Kiran.
okay, yeah, Ravi, I'm from pharma background.
Mhm.
So now what you are doing, that is like UI front end, is it?
Okay.
No,
So,
I want to understand, is that front end you are designing, or what actually it was today? What you are saying that?
so see, for any design, any development, right, you need to work with the variables. Otherwise, where you will capture the values, even though in the front end, if you are going to take inputs from some users, right, you need a variable to hold that value, what user has added. Right? So this is the kind of background work we are doing, so that whenever we start interface designing, you should not get confused where the values are going, how we are saving the values, right? So that's why we are just building the base for you so that you can understand later as well. So front end, we are not only just going to work with the front end, we will be designing front end, back end, database, everything, workflows, all the things.
What we discussed today, that we will be mapping from 10 to this today what we are
Right,
discussed, is it?
right.
Okay.
It's like you are preparing for a marathon. You start walking and then slowly running and then. Okay.
So one more, Ravi. So I
Mhm.
am belongs to IT, so I don't know about any language. So it, will it be okay? Like, can I able to
Right,
grasp, because today people are answering, so I could not able to correlate with those.
right.
So
No, because these guys are already in the development, right? So that's the reason they are answering. But Appian is not a language; it's a tool, right? Whatever we are doing, right? You see, it's not kind of following any programming coding standard. It was just the simple things that we are doing it. So you don't have to be knowing about any Java or Python or C++ or anything. It's a Appian is basically drag and drop. You can do it, but as you are not aware of development before, you will have to put some extra efforts, from your end.
okay,
I won't say
no,
that definitely you don't have to, but it will, because you don't belong to developments before, right? So yes, you will have to put some extra effort.
I'm actually non-IT background, so
Right. Yeah. No, that's fine. I mean, we have uh, trained freshers, right? So that's
okay.
totally fine. You can do that. It's just you need to put some concentration, right?
Sure.
See, I am with you for 1 hour. You are with you for 24 hours, right? So it's responsibility more to you to make you understand. So put some effort.
Can you ping your personal number? So I want to discuss
I
one,
just
two.
pinged on the WhatsApp group. Sorry, I just messaged one in the chat. Get in touch with them, and then whatever your questions is there will definitely be answered.
This is 2299. Is this yours or?
No, it's not mine. It's a training center number. See, we cannot get in touch directly. I mean, you can understand. But yeah, whatever your question is there, just post it there. We can get in touch. Not an issue. All right, guys. If you don't have any question, I'm just going to stop the recording. I don't want to put everything in the recordings. Let me stop it first of all. But before that, do you guys have any question? Whatever we discussed so far.